Hi, I'm Steve, and today I'm going to show you how to deploy a real-time Streamlit dashboard with Quix. And as a bonus, we'll make it publicly accessible on the internet. So let's begin. Firstly, you'll need a free Quix account, and there's a link to the sign-up page in the description below. Next, we'll need some source data to show on our dashboard. We'll start fast by using dummy data generated by a sample from the Quix library. Later on, you can stream your own data, and if you need any help with that, give us a shout on the stream, our dedicated streaming Slack community. Again, check out the description below for the link to that. So the first thing I'm going to do is head over to the library and choose source under pipeline stage. So I'm going to choose this demo data source. It's a stream of F1 telemetry data. It's high frequency and there's tons of parameters and events for us to choose from. So all I need to do is click Set Up and Deploy, and then click Deploy. So once that's deployed, we've got the demo data source deployed to our workspace. As you can see, it's running, and now if I click on the tile, I can come through and see the logs. We can see that the topic has been created and that the stream has been started. So if we click on Messages, we can now see a live preview of the messages that are coming into the topic. So if I click on one of these rows, we can see the timestamps, parameters, and events that are available in the data. I'm interested in speed and engine RPM for my dashboard. If you're following along, you can choose any of the parameters available in this stream. So just experiment with whatever you can find. So now that we've got data flowing into our topic, the next thing we need to think about is deploying our Streamlit dashboard. First, we'll find the Streamlit dashboard library item, then we'll modify the code, and finally deploy it into our workspace. And as I said before, we'll also be making it publicly accessible, so I'll be showing you how to do that too. So let's find that library sample by heading to the library, typing in Streamlit, and then we'll preview the code this time. And we can see here that this is the code that makes up the library item. And now I'll click Edit Code. So this is the first step of saving the code as a project in my own workspace. I'm going to call this my demo data dashboard, since we're using the demo data. The input is the F1 data topic that was created earlier for us when we deployed the demo data sample from the library. So with all the configuration done, I can now just click Save as Project. So the code is now saved as a project in my workspace. So from here, I can edit, run, and deploy the code as well. I can also see the messages arriving in the topic. I can see how this project participates in the rest of the data lineage. And I can see the console output. So as you can see, the dependencies for this code have all been installed already. Now let's edit the code so we can display the speed and engine RPM. So if we scroll down a little bit, we can see the two charts that are displayed by default in this code. Now I only want to display speed and engine RPM. So I'm going to get rid of chart 2. And I also don't need this column. So I'm just going to have, I don't need the columns. There we go. So I'm just going to add chart 1, give it a title. We'll call that chart title. And then I'm going to display the date time, speed, and engine RPM with the date time as the index. Below that, I will also show the raw data. But once we're kind of done debugging this, we can get rid of the raw data as well. So what we want to do is save that. We can add a tag. We'll call this V1. And then I'll hit enter to save that. And now what we can do is we could deploy that and allow it to build and then test it out. But what we can actually do is right here in the dev environment, we can just click run. So I'll do that. Now, as you can see, Streamlit has displayed in the console the network and external URLs. Now, you won't be able to use those because your deployment is deployed into a Kubernetes cluster that is not accessible from the outside world. However, we do make it accessible for you It's just not on those IP addresses. So if you saw the icon that appeared up here next to your project name, you can click that and it will redirect you to your new dashboard. So as you can see, the dashboard has data flowing in and the data is scrolling nicely. These gaps in the chart are where the data replay has restarted itself and started playing the data back again. It plays back on a continuous loop. So now that we've got the dashboard displaying how we want, we can close that tab. We can stop our project from running. And we can now deploy the dashboard so it'll run continuously. What we want to do is click Deploy, choose the tag that we gave it, which is V1, and now we want to make sure that it runs continuously and not just once. So choose to deploy it as a service. As you can see, we can assign CPU memory and we can also add more replicas. For now though, I'll just leave these values as they are. What we do need to do though is configure public access. As I mentioned earlier, we want to make our dashboard publicly accessible. So you don't need to punch holes in firewalls, you don't need to do any DNS entries. All you need to do is enable public access. You need to give your deployment a URL prefix. That makes sure the URL is unique in your workspace. So I'm going to call this My Demo Dashboard. And as you can see here, there's a preview of the URL where your dashboard will live. You can copy that, or you can wait till it's deployed, where you'll be able to copy the link again. So I don't need to make any other changes here. So I'll just click Deploy. And as you can see, we're redirected to the homepage where we can see our dashboard being built, deployed, and started. And in the background, we'll also be opening firewall ports and making sure that the dashboard can be reached through the internet. So now the dashboard's running, we can click through to the tile and we can see that we've got the same message that we had in our console output before that just says Streamlit's up and running. We can view it in our browser and it gives us the 2 IP addresses again. Same as before, we can't use these IP addresses. However, we can click on the link to the public URL and view our dashboard. So as you can see, we're looking at my Streamlit demo data dashboard. We've got our chart at the top showing engine RPM and speed. And down below, we've even got the view of the raw data. Of course, there's no security on this page, so anyone with the URL can view this data. So you might want to think about implementing some sort of security or ensuring that you're not displaying sensitive data on your dashboard. So next steps are you can head back to the code and change it so that you display something else. Choose some different parameters, choose some different types of charts and customize it to work for you and your data. You can source some different data from the library or get your own data into Quix and display that on your dashboard. Again, if you need any help getting started with Quix, we're quite a friendly bunch. Just give us a shout on the stream. If you're familiar with Streamlit at all, you know that there's many different types of charts and different ways of displaying your data. And if you're not familiar with Streamlit, then check out streamlit.io. Again, link in the description below. You can check out their examples gallery and their API pages to take a look at what's available. So once again, I'm Steve, and this was the Streamlit demo dashboard deployed inside Quix. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.